Bend the knee!
Alright, now it's definitely spoiler time. Talking about Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 4, The Sons of the Harpy. And man, oh man, this was kind of a difficult episode, man, at the very, very end. Because, like, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a great episode. But damn it, man. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. I don't want to. I'm not going to jump right into it. I'll go in kind of chronological order as best I can. Right. So the first thing we start off with is Jorah. Still kidnapping Tyrion. He basically robs a guy for his boat, so this way he can sail to Meereen. Throws Tyrion in the boat, and pretty much up until kind of almost towards the end of the episode, that's what we got out of them. Next, we have Jaime and Bronn. They're on a merchant ship on the way to Dorne. And, they're kind of going back and forth with not only their mission, and it's funny because when Jaime tells Bronn, yeah, I'm going to save my niece, the look on Bronn's face when he's like, your niece, like, everybody already knows. There's I guess at this point, there's no reason to front. If you're in the employ of the Lannisters, you pretty much know that, you pretty much know that those kids are Jaime's. You know, and it's funny because, when Bronn says to Jaime, give Tyrion my regards, he's like, oh, he killed my father. If I ever see him again, I'm gonna kill him, and then I'll give him your regards, which is funny because, it seems kind of like they're giving Jaime more of, Cersei's kind of, not arc, but more of Cersei's personality traits, um, than they've ever given him before. Next we have Cersei sending Mace Tyrell to treat with the Iron Bank because the Iron Bank is called a tenth of its debts. And it's just funny because Mace Tyrell, man, they just treat him like a clown all the time. They're sending Meereen Trent with him to Bravos to the Iron Bank. So hopefully Arya gets to cross that name off of her list, which, it seems likely that she will. Um, yeah, but just the whole thing of with Mace Tyrell, where they're like, oh, well, yeah, um, yeah, we'll loan the crown some money and have him pay it back, slowly, or I'll have words with my daughter, and it's just like, yeah, I understand that was supposed to be funny, and to the audience it was funny. To Cersei, she's just like, yeah, well, you shut the fuck up and get the hell out of here, you dumbass. Oh, that was kind of hilarious. Then next we have Cersei making one of the dumbest moves you could possibly make. Empowering the Faith Militant. Giving the High Sparrow the authority to reform the Faith Militant. And then, the Faith Militant just go on a damn rampage. Now, I don't remember if they did this in the book, but, now they're carving the seven-pointed star into their foreheads. And next thing you know, we get them running up on Loras Tyrell because Cersei tells the High Sparrow, like, yeah, we got somebody. And it's funny because when they run into Littlefinger's brothel, same thing happened with this dude Oliver. Where he's like, this is Lord Peter Baelish's establishment. And what happens? It's like, fuck out of here. So I guess Oliver should be used to getting smacked around by the Faith Militant. Yeah, the fact that they arrested Loras Tyrell on basically just what Cersei said seems a little irresponsible because they have no actual proof of her allegations. It's just like, oh, she said that he did something. I'm like, they've never caught him in a brothel. They never actually caught him in any compromising position. This was just, oh well, the Queen Regent said that this guy is involved in some illicit behavior, and we're here to eradicate that. So yeah, that's good enough for us. Um, then we get the scene with Marjorie basically barking on Tommen about, hey, get my damn brother out of jail, and how you gonna let your mom do this? Tommen goes and is like, yeah, you gotta release him. He's like, I don't have him. I'm not the one who locked him up. It's the Faith Militant. So he goes to talk to the High Sparrow, and the rest of them, the rest of the Faith Militant are sitting up there like, he's praying right now. You can't talk to him. Okay, alright, so just come back later. And, now Marjorie needs to make plans, so she decides she is going to call the Queen of Thorns. So we know that's going to be interesting there. Oh, man. Next we get Stannis and Selyse, talking about what's next to come. Melisandre comes up and she starts talking to them, and it's like, hey, yeah, Selyse is your daughter, and she has king's blood, and we all know there's power in king's blood, and she gives Selyse this look, and Selyse is like, oh, I understand, kind of, sort of, and it's like, all right, Melisandre, what are you gonna do? Are you really gonna try to burn Stannis' daughter? Like, I understand Stannis is now kind of on your side and with your cause, but I don't know that he's going to let you do that one. But, we'll see what happens. And then we get Jon writing request for more men to come to the wall. Sam is handing him all of these letters for him to sign off on, and Jon has never heard of any of these lords. And he's like, yeah, well, we still need them anyway. And then he comes to Roose Bolton. And they're like, at first, Jon doesn't want to sign it. He's like, yeah, man, look, this is the dude who killed my brother. He's holding Winterfell. He's still my enemy, even though I'm not part of the realm in that fashion. This guy's still my enemy. And Sam was like, look, he's the warden of the North. He's gonna have the most people. You're gonna have to put that aside. I know you don't want to, but that's the way it's gotta be, unfortunately. And then Melisandre comes in. Sam leaves, and Melisandre, wow. Man, oh man, listen. Jon is a much more strong-willed person than I am, because Melisandre walks into the room, strips naked, and is like, hey, come on, let's get this popping. I'm gonna have to mourn Ygritte another time. Ygritte is just gonna have to gonna have to protest from the other side of the grave, or whatever, man. He's up to like, oh, I love another and all this, like, oh, you know nothing, Jon Snow. And I'm not sure exactly what was the purpose of putting that particular thing in there, but I'm still just like, man. All right, I'm just gonna go past that. So then we get the scene with Shireen and Stannis, and Shireen, basically telling Stannis that her mom didn't want her to come, and Stannis, finally, I think this is one of the more, I guess, I don't know, tender or down to earth human moments that we get from Stannis, because he tells a story about when she first got grayscale, and he did everything in his power to save her, and no matter what, that's still his daughter. It's has nothing to do with her being heir to the throne, or or what the name is. No, that's his daughter, and he loves her, and he would do anything for her. And I'm glad that we got to see that, because you know when we first get introduced with Stannis and Shireen, Stannis hadn't seen her for a while, and it almost was like, yeah, all right, that's my daughter or whatever. But yeah, he's kind of an absentee father, even though he was there. So just to see that interaction with those two was kind of cool. It's funny, yeah, 'cause it seemed like there was a lot of characters missing, and like not seeing Davos there was kind of odd, because normally whenever we get Shireen somewhere around, we get Davos. We didn't get Davos this time. We also didn't get Gilly either. So, let's see here. Next up, we get Sansa in the Crypts of Winterfell. Looking around, and she comes upon Lyanna Stark. The grave of Lyanna Stark, and Peter Baelish rolls up, tells her about the 20 Harrenhal, tells her about the whole ordeal with Rhaegar, and then she's like, yeah, but he kidnapped her and raped her and all this other stuff. And when she notices that he's about to leave, he's like, yeah, look, don't worry, I'll be back soon enough. But in the meantime, I've already bet that Stannis is going to win this war, and since I'm betting Stannis is going to win the war, as soon as he kills Roose Bolton and your soon-to-be husband, you'll be named Wardeness of the North. And everything will be cool. This is the way I kind of planned it all out. And she's like, well, what if Stannis doesn't win? He's like, all right, well, listen, we'll figure out some way to get rid of the Boltons anyway. And, still Peter Baelish is not realizing that this dude Ramsay is not your typical guy. Right now, he's doing what he has to do because his father is around, and he really, like, his whole thing right now is he just doesn't want to piss off his father, right? So, once his dad is not around, the crazy will come out. And, like I said, I very highly doubt that he's going to do anything to Sansa. I'm thinking he's going to make Sansa kill Miranda, or something of that nature. Let's see what else we got here. We got Bronn and Jaime arriving in Dorne, and it was the funny thing where Jaime wakes up and he sees Bronn with his knife about to throw it and thinks he's about to hit him in the head, but no, Bronn saving him from getting bitten by some poisonous snake. And as much as I think the sand snakes are pretty cool characters, in real life I hate snakes. I cannot stand snakes. If it were up to me, I would make every day St. Patrick's Day and go to some place and just whack every snake that I could find to death. But that's neither here nor there. So they run into some Dornish guards, and they wound up having a fight, and it was crazy because Bronn basically did pretty much 3/4 of the heavy lifting. Jaime was able to take down one man, even though he almost got himself killed. If it wasn't for the fact that he happened to have that metal hand, which stopped that blade, Jaime would have been a dead man, or he would have lost another. He would have probably lost that whole arm. Who knows? So now it's we got to see, are they going to make it back to Sunspear before before Oberyn's paramour, Ilaria, before Ilaria and the Sand Snakes do. Um, that's going to be interesting to see there. But, oh man, dude was like, yeah, we got to bury these bodies. And Bronn is like, well, you know how long it's going to take us to do? He's like, oh, yeah, I really can't do much digging with one hand. It's like, in fact, I can't do any. I'm like, Jamie, you're pressing your luck, bro. You were the Kingslayer. You are not currently the Kingslayer anymore. I do not think it is a good idea for you to be attempting this sellsword, because at the end of the day, he can always just go back and say, look, yeah, they killed you, and you just so happen to make an escape, Or he could betray you and tell them, look, this is Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer. He came here to try to steal Marcella Baratheon, and I'm here turning him in to you guys. So, yeah, Jaime, you watch yourself there, okay, buddy? Be easy. Next, we get the introduction to the Sand Snakes. Ilaria Sand rides up, and they've got the ship's captain, the merchant captain who brought Jaime and Bronn to Dorne, and like, hey, well, pretty much we know the plot of this if from the books, if you're a book reader, and it's pretty much, hey, well, you know what, we got Marcella Baratheon here. We want revenge for what happened to Oberyn, so we can either do Doran's way and try for a peaceful solution, or we can go my way, in the way that probably Oberyn would have went, and just start killing people, and yeah, it'll bring war, but this is Dorne. This is what we do. About it. So, we'll see what happens with that one. That probably not the best move, but to each his own, right? Yeah, so next up we get Tyrion and Jorah again. They're on the seas, on the way to Meereen. And Tyrion is still thinking that he is on his way to Cersei. Jorah tells him that, we're going to Daenerys Targaryen. And at first he doesn't want to tell him who he is, right? And Tyrion, being the astute, not detective so much, but just observant man, is able to kind of put things together. And yeah, so he, figures out that this is Jorah Mormont, and kind of figures out that he's been kicked out of Dany's camp for spying on her, and somehow that she found out about the spying. So yeah, he's like, hey, now that we know we're on the same side, you might as well just let me loose, because there's no reason to keep me tied up if I'm going to Meereen to see Daenerys Targaryen anyway. And dude just kind of just knocked him out. Yeah, he was like, yeah, listen, Tyrion can be a little bit of a not a hard ass. That's not the right word. He can be kind of irritating at times, but at the end of the day, he was right. And sometimes people don't want someone else to be right in that manner. It is what it is, right? Let's see here. And then we get Daenerys and Sir Barristan Selmy, where Barristan is telling her about Rhaegar Targaryen. And this is probably the most, other than season 1, or episode 2 or episode 3 on the King's Road, when Ned and Robert are talking about facing Rhaegar on a trident. This is pretty much the most that we get about Rhaegar Targaryen on a personal level. We have not gotten any backstory on Rhaegar other than um, other than Robert killing him, pretty much. You know, so we get two not counter views, but we get the most backstory out of Rhaegar we get, because we get the thing with Sansa and Peter in the crypts in Winterfell, and now this, which is something that's a little bit more personal. Talking about how he's, basically singing like a minstrel to the people in King's Landing and collecting money and basically kind of battling other singers to see who could get the most money, and some of the money he gave away and some of the money they went and got drunk on. And that was cool just to finally, even though we never get to see what Rhaegar looked like, just to kind of get something else a little bit more intimate and human about him. And then right after that, Dario comes in and he's telling Dany, "Hey, his daughter's here." You know, his daughter, is pleading his case about how we need to reopen fighting pits because that is the only thing that the former slaves and the former masters have in common. And Dany's still like, yeah, fuck your fighting pits. I'm not opening the damn fighting pits. Don't ask me anymore about these damn fighting pits. And then, we get to meet the people, well, not that we haven't met them before, but we see now why this episode was called Sons of the Harpy. They start attacking Unsullied in the streets of Meereen, and we see the same prostitute who set up White Rat uh, has set up one of the second sons, and we get a bunch of sons basically jumping the Unsullied. And the thing I'm thinking to myself is, well, how many Sons of the Harpy are there? Because there were like 8,000 Unsullied. I don't know how many are actually inside the streets of Meereen, but it seemed like at every turn these guys were outnumbered. So we get nice little battle in kind of an alleyway. I guess it would be an alleyway, whatever. See Grey Worm doing his thing. He gets stabbed a couple of times. Whatever. He's still holding it down. And then walking through the streets just kind of casually on his normal thing. Barristan the Bold. And finally, we get to see, just how good of a swordsman he is. He takes down, I lost count as to how many he took down. I mean, it wasn't like, in like 30 or 40, but he took down enough on his own that it was like, wow, here's one man. And mind you, Barristan should be in his 60s, even in the show, if I'm not mistaken. Like, maybe in his mid-60s by this time, and is still chopping him down like nothing. And that was kind of a heart-wrenching scene for me, man, because Barristan is like, he's been one of my favorite dudes since season 1, man. Like, I still think the best thing he had was when he when he gets dismissed from the Kingsguard, and he's giving up his sword, and he takes off his cloak. It's like, I'm a knight. I will die a knight. And when he takes out the sword, it's like, right now I can cut through the fire of you like carving a cake. And he's, here, boy, melt it down and add it to the others, and just walks off. And I wish they would have had the whole thing, at least, even if it was just a report, with him slaying the other Kingsguard that Joffrey sent after him. So, yeah, man, rest in peace to Barristan the Bold. You know what? I'm gonna do a tribute profile to him. I know what I'm supposed to be doing with Tyrion, Greyjoy, and some of the rest of them, but I gotta do my man Barristan, man. So don't worry, I'm gonna get to the rest of you guys' videos. Somebody left me like a list of like 10 people. I'm gonna get to your list. Don't worry, but first up, I gotta hit my man Barristan the Bold. So anyway, look, I spend my time. Uh, Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all other good stuff. Don Woolley, I'm out.